In this video, we're going to learn about different writing tips regarding IELTS exam. The IELTS exam composed of two tasks. The first one is writing a report and the second one is writing an essay. Now let's proceed with the first one, writing a report. When you write a report, it must have 150 words within a time frame of 20 minutes only. On the other hand, writing an essay, your essay must have 250 words and you're going to do it within 40 minutes only. In this video, we're going to focus on writing tips for a report. The first task is writing a report. The task is to describe a graph in a report. There are many types of graphs. So we have the following list as single line graph, double line graph, bar graph, pie chart, table, process of something. Now, these are the simple rules for writing a report. Make sure your paper is clean. Make your writing clear and neat. If the instruction says write about a number of things, make sure to mention them all. But don't write the instructions exactly. You have to paraphrase it. Now we have the following example figures for single line and double line graphs. For a single line graph, as you can see, there is only a single variable plotted for, say for example, this one, unemployment figures amongst women. So we have the numbers on the y-axis and their ages on the x-axis. Okay? So as you can see here, the graph is plotted on a single line. Whereas the double line graph includes, okay, although it has variables, okay, say for example, this one, number or the amount in millions of dollars and the years, but two data are plotted in two lines. Say, for example, the money spent in Japan and the money spent in the USA. So we have single and double bar graphs. As you can see on the other one, on your left part of the screen, annual meat consumption in 7 countries. This is in per kilogram per person. Okay. And then the other one, we have the annual coffee meat consumption in 7 countries. This includes not only coffee, but also meat. As you can see here, we have already two bars for this graph. So we have the pie chart, okay, and a table where data are plotted through the number of columns and rows. And we have depictions of processes. So for example, the first one on the leftmost part is a process where a caterpillar, okay, turns into a butterfly. On the middle as cement production, on your rightmost part as concrete production. So we have the important rules for writing reports. Remember to write around 150 words and give it only 20 minutes. You shouldn't write your opinion or copy words from the graph. Rephrase and use synonyms. Never use bullet points. Write as if you are writing an essay. And then the last one, follow the structure of introduction. Okay? For writing a report, an introduction has only one graph. The body must contain 2 to 3 paragraphs, and the conclusion must be in a single paragraph. Now, how the essay must look. For your introduction, you should describe the purpose of the reports and what the overall trends are. Your words must draw the picture. Imagine explaining it to someone who can't see it, okay? Or explaining the whole purpose of the report on someone who is blind. Say, for example, the pie chart describes the percentages of the categories of books which were sold in 2001. There are 8 categories given in the chart. It can be seen the parenting Books are the most popular category, as you can see here. 25% is actually the parenting books. How to start? You start with the shows, reveals, describes, or even compares. Depends on the type of the graph. So we have the body. It should describe the most important trends while all other information is summarized to avoid unnecessary information. Summarizing doesn't mean throwing away the information. What is important is to select what is important and compare it. You must divide it into two paragraphs, at least the first one with the one similar to each other in features, and the second one with the other category. For the conclusion part, it should sum up the important trends and compare them if possible. Don't mention your opinion or something that is not in the graph. For the grammar part, we have the following as actions. For happened in the past, use simple past. Say, for example, books sold in 2012. For continued in the past, use past continuous as the way people were spending money on a pill between 2009 and 2012. Happens in the present. Say, for example, unemployment figures among women. So you're going to use present simple or present continuous. So for this part, helpful vocabulary, when you describe a graph, you need certain vocabulary like for the rises, you're going to use increase, climbs, goes up. And for falls, you're going to use decrease, drops, goes down, and declines. For doesn't change, remains at the same level, and then maintain stability. For slowly, you're going to use gradually or steadily. For highest, you can use popular or common. So how are we going to describe? Say, for example, we have numbers are boring. Don't just write went from 100 in 1987 to 150 in 1990. Okay? So instead, doing this, you're going to write increased or have risen. Say, for example, from 100, it increased to 150 in 1990, or from 100, it has or it had risen to 150 in 1990. Describe each stage one by one. When there is a process, you can ignore details. Firstly, secondly, thirdly, finally, or by using then, after, that, in addition, otherwise, at the same time. Okay? This is very popular for a process picture or depiction of a process. Whether you are given with a certain process, an image of process, this is very useful for the body parts. Okay? Firstly, secondly, thirdly, finally, or by using then, after that, in addition, otherwise, at the same time. You must group the information and use them in categories to make it easier. Like the highest number were recorded for apples, oranges, and the lowest were for peaches and bananas. So we have an example here. Okay? As you can see, the process goes by as online order placed and credit card provided. And then we have requests received by credit companies to check credit card owners' identity and funds. So on this part of the flowchart, okay, the other one on the further left, this is card is removed or approved. Customers order fulfilled by merchant, and then followed by money requested by merchant from credit company, and then money received. For the rightmost part of this illustration, it depicts as card is declined, and then after this one, notification received by merchant, and then order declined by merchant, notification sent to customers. So if we're going to write now our report, okay, for an Ielts report sample, we have the first paragraph is the introduction. The flow chart shows the detailed process of making a purchase online, including actions of customers, merchants, and the credit company. Okay? So this is the introduction for this. Okay? As you can see here, the word used is shows. The flow chart shows the detailed process of making a purchase online. And then followed by the body part, the second and third paragraphs. Since this is a process chart, okay, or process illustration, the person used first, the online order is being placed together with the credit card number for funds to be drawn from. Okay? Then a request to check the validity of the credit card by checking that the customer is its real owner and sufficiency of funds is received by the credit company. Okay? In this part, as a result, credit card is being either approved or denied by the company. Okay? As you can see here, on this second paragraph or the first paragraph of the body part, when the flowchart divides into two, the card is approved. Okay? The student used either approved or denied. Okay? As we proceed with the third paragraph, in case of the credit card being approved, okay, so the student focused on this part. In case the credit card being approved, the customer order is being fulfilled by a merchant. Okay? After that, money is requested by merchant from credit company, and finally, money is received by the merchant. Alternatively, in case the credit card was denied by credit company, notification is being sent to merchant to advise him not to supply the goods. Next, order is declined by merchant, and after that, notification is sent to the customers. So we have the next one as writing tips for an essay. Okay. So this will be tackled for our next video.